All right. Let's officially start. Is that okay with everyone? Nice seeing you all, and welcome. Hope everyone's having a great day. And go Clay and go. Okay, Alex and Clay, right? So you guys will be our guests for this episode. I hope that's all right. All right. So welcome everyone to the Keepers Club podcast. This podcast is hosted by Keepers Club, a club that aims to keep young people like us away from a negative life and negative activities such as smoking, doing drugs, drinking, and to really help and guide and uplift young adults like us who are tuning in, especially if they might be going through depression, loneliness, anxiety, and eventually suicidal thoughts. We have the privilege to have guests that are willing to join this week's recording to share their experiences on how to stay healthy, happy, and motivated. And because at the end of the day, that's really the goal for this club. The goal of Keepers Club is to share with others as we were to share with our own brothers and sisters. So, just like the club slogan, I am my brother's keeper, we will do whatever it takes to share the love that we experienced individually and as a group. And we love to also thank the founding president of Keepers Club, who is none other than Pastor Apollo C. Kipsoy, for this opportunity to have this podcast here in the USA. So without further ado, let us introduce our special guest today, starting with Alex. Go, Alex.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Alex.
Hello.
Yeah,
Call me
kindly
Keeper
introduce
Alex.
yourself.
Hey, Alex, do you think you could turn your camera on just for a few?
My computer actually doesn't have a webcam. Hold up.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, I apologize about that. I might be able to put
Okay,
like
no.
maybe a profile picture. My name is Alex Alexander. Um, Recently just graduated from high school. That's pretty cool.
Wow,
Oh, congrats.
congrats.
Anything else I should say?
No, well, while you're at it, how about share as to why you joined this episode today, why you joined the podcast.
All right. Well, I was actually recruited. I was invited by at KCP3
Mm.
just the other day. And yeah, I thought it'd be interesting. I wanted to dip my toes into the podcast kind of area that you guys are doing. So yeah, I hope I can manage well with you guys.
Yeah, of course. And once again, we are privileged and honored to have you join this episode. So go, Alex, and let's give another round of applause to Alex. All right.
Thank you.
Yeah. Wait, Alex. Speaking of Alex, can you kindly introduce also who you invited?
All right. Um, I thought it'd be fun to not go at this alone. I invited just a few of my friends. Clay's a good friend of mine. We went to school together. Hello, Clay. Pretty crazy guy. He's pretty cool.
Go, Clay.
Uh, we also got Joe, not to be mistaken with Joe Mama. He's just also another good friend of mine. He's pretty cool. Not much to say about him. He has a good sense of fashion. Hello, guys. Thank you for joining me today. Joining us.
Wait, wait. So, Alex, how many people did you invite? Or wait, well, how many people did you invite that are in this episode right now?
I just invited them too, and they
Oh,
both
two.
joined. So yeah,
Wow.
I didn't want to invite too many
Yeah.
people. Not yet.
No, of course. But go, Alex. And then, yeah. Speaking of, what about with all the other keepers? Did you guys invite also other people? You have the first timer inviting two people. How about everyone else? No. Okay. Wait. But in the meantime, kindly introduce yourself as well, Clay or Joe. But once again, without further ado, let's all show some love and make some noise for Joe and Clay. Feel free to introduce yourself. If you're busy though, of course, it's all good. We have another keeper joining as well, but we love to hear from you, or we love to see you, especially hear from you, Joe, Clay, and what a privilege once again as well to have you join here as well. So, if not, we'll move on to someone else. But once again, kindly
I
feel
can
free
speak.
to say hi. Yeah, go Clay.
Do we just introduce ourselves?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, my name is Keeper Clay. I'm here today because of Alex, obviously, and yeah, I don't really know what else to say. Just graduated, so it's cool.
Hey, congrats.
Thank you.
Go Clay.
Congrats.
Congrats
so much.
to all three of you, right?
Yeah,
Wow. Hey, I'm sure you guys are gonna do awesome things in life. So
Oh, I
congrats
hope
on.
so.
Mm. Yes. Hey, so once again, go Clay, and congrats. All right. How about you, Joe? We love to hear from you. Of course, it's up to you though. But hey, go Jay. Congrats to you, and we love if you can introduce yourself. Okay. If not, it's all good. Feel free to introduce yourself. And like jump in our discussion later. Oh yeah, go Joe. Go Joe.
How's it going? I'm Joe. Um, Alex, I'm friends with Alex, and he was nice enough to invite me to this. And I've also recently just graduated from high school, and can't wait for what the future has for me. For us. For us.
Wow. Congrats.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, go Joe. And that's nice of you too to mention that. So either all three of you or individually, and go Joe, go
Thank you. Thank
go
you.
Clay, go Alex.
Thank you.
But once again, go Joe. All right. We also have another keeper. We have another keeper. To join this episode, our third episode. Um, third episode. But she's also one of our actual original guests that we ever had on the podcast. And we love to see you. We love to hear from you, Keeper Stephanie. And kindly introduce yourself. It's been a minute also, and what a privilege as well to have you join this episode today. So feel free to say hi, Stephanie, and nice picture by the way. But would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi guys. So I'm Stephanie. I actually first joined Keepers Club during 2020, before the whole pandemic started. And Calvin here was actually one of the first people to kind of push me to be part of this club a little bit, even though I was very hesitant because I'm not very sociable, I guess is a good way to say it. But Calvin and the group here actually have been very welcoming, very friendly, and got me very out of my shell, especially with like being in front of people and speaking and singing and all of that. So that actually pushed me a lot. And another thing about me is that I actually did graduate from community college this year as well. And I actually got accepted into my number one choice of university, which is DePaul University. So I'm going for my bachelor's in the fall.
Hey, Steph, it's so nice hearing from you.
Mhm.
Right? And then I mentioned also last episode that it's like hearing you sing is like literally like hearing an angel sing. So, whether you're still singing or not,
Mhm,
we're really happy to have you in this episode, and then even especially you had work. You're like fresh out of work, and you're
Oh
willing to
yeah, I
join.
am.
Yeah. So how's work, by the way?
Very, very long day. A lot of running around the store,
Mm,
especially. But I'm actually glad I get to kind of de-stress here and actually have a good time with you guys here. It's
mm,
been a very long time. I wasn't expecting actually to get a sudden message from you because like it had been very good minute since I last heard from anybody really. And now it's like all of you guys are just coming out of the woodwork and it makes me very happy, especially because I'm glad that you guys are still around and that you guys still like remember me and whatnot. It's actually very, very wholesome for me. And it means a lot
mm.
to me too.
Wow. It's so sweet. Thank you, Steph. Love from Keeper Chicago.
Mhm.
And thanks for being one of our original guests and even joining again.
Yeah, of
Right.
course.
So I hope the customers treated you well as well. And um happy belated birthday.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, how's your birthday, by the way, really quick?
It
Happy
was really good.
birthday.
Oh, thank you. It was really well. I got to spend time with my family, got to have a nice chocolate cake, which is my absolute favorite. So it was
Mm.
really nice. I love celebrating it.
Yeah, that's the spirit. Go, Steph. So many more to come, and lots of love. Go, Stephanie. Mm. Okay. Yeah, feel free to go crazy in the chat, right? Um, but we're excited to officially. Did we miss anyone, by the way? Let me know. My bad if I did, but there'll be more people coming, hopefully. But let's get started. So, would you like to do the honors, by the way, Jane? Keeper Jane. But if not, let me know too.
Oh, to show the PowerPoint.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, all right.
Oh,
Because for
kindly
you're
read
gonna
my
say something?
message too.
Yes, yes, yes.
Oh wait, so let me know if I have to like
I mean,
um
we'll see
do.
because my internet has been
Hmm.
wishy-washy, so we'll
Okay.
see.
Yeah.
If
All
things
good.
get too bad, I'll tell you.
All right.
Okay, so welcome everyone to our Keepers podcast. Now, to start, We're who are we? We're the Keepers Club podcast, and we're just a podcast to help guide, encourage, and uplift the youth because, it's really hard being um, a young person, especially you're finding who you want to be. You're trying to find a group that will benefit you, that you feel like you belong in. So that's why we're here. We're through most social medias, mainly Zoom, YouTube, Facebook, but we also have others like Instagram, Twitter. So why I am my brother's keeper. So if you don't know where that's from the story of, I believe it's when Cain killed Abel, and then uh, God asked Cain, "Where's Abel?" And then he said, "Am I my brother's keeper?" So that just means we look out for each other, you know? And then how we, gather, bond, share with all the keepers all over the US. So this is just our chance to sort of be together and just sort of share our thoughts, kind of like unload our thoughts for the day, especially when it's concerned with our certain topic for whichever episode. So it started in March 31st, 2021, and until now, is it June 21st? Jeez, I don't know days. I have a very bad
It
perception of
is.
time.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
It's
June
June, right?
20.
June, right?
Yeah. Is it? Yeah. June
Go,
21st,
Jane.
2022. So 16 episodes in total, but we've sort of restarted and like had, what's the word? Jumpstart the podcast again now in 2022. So some topics we've covered: how do you continue to challenge yourself? Are you proud of yourself? How can young adults today stay focused on our goals? So, just tackling common issues, common topics like this that you will commonly encounter as a youth. So, our goal is to discuss the struggles of being a youth with all the keepers because, even though we're young, we might not have a lot of responsibilities. The main responsibility you have when you're young is finding out who you are and what you want to be. So, that's and finding a group that will support you. So that's what we're here for. So quick, Alvin, you wrote the icebreaker, so
Yes,
would you
ma'am.
want to be the one to introduce this one?
Yeah, sure. Why not, right? Okay, but for this to work, once again, if you're busy or you got work, you're driving, we just want you to be safe, right? But we love to see your face, and then for this to work, once again, we love if you have your camera open. But we'll see how this works for the people who do have their camera open. So the first icebreaker, also per request, we want to also make it fun, right? To really get a feel for everyone in the podcast, to really interact a bit, right? It doesn't take that long. But the first one, you might have heard it before. Would you rather? Right? So it's simple as this, like option one or option two, right? So, um, for example, or actually, question one, right? So, would you rather watch TV or would you rather watch TV or would you rather watch movies? Like a TV show or a movie, right? Simple as that. So, option one for TV, option two for movies. And ready, go. One, two. How about you, Kuya Keeper Nolan? Goalkeeper Alex.
n-
Two.
When
Okay.
when you say watch a movie, do you mean watch movie at the comfort of your home or like going out and to watch the movie?
That's a good question.
Because
Go
that will make
Stephanie.
a really big difference.
Hey,
Oh,
follow
really?
your heart.
Okay.
But in
don't
both
know.
settings, actually.
In both
So,
settings.
would you rather
Okay.
watch like a TV show or a movie in like this 100-degree weather?
I don't know. I'm watching that. So
All right. Hey, go Stephanie. Okay. All right. Great. That's how it works. Okay. How about two? Not too many examples, right? But would you rather eat at a restaurant or eat at a fast food drive-through? And go.
Restaurant for sure.
Yeah. Kuya Nolan, same. No, but this is just like fun. It's just get a feel for everyone interacting. Nice seeing everyone's faces and fingers, by the way. 2, 1, 2, 1. What was it? Restaurant or fast food? Okay. And keepers. Okay,
But
good.
I think it depends on the place you go. Because if you get In and Out,
right.
the car, or if you get like a burger place, like something like that.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Wait, my bad too. I didn't think it'd be I should have thought this through too. Also like option 3, right? But okay, let's move on. Last one for this game. Gabe, you make it up.
For Would You Rather?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Go Kuya.
would you rather travel by boat or by an airplane? Number one is boat, number two is airplane.
I feel bad for all the
Yeah,
people
all
that
the
are
way.
seasick.
Hey, lots of love to everyone. Even if you can't have your video or you don't want to show your video, that's really cool of you to share your answer in the chat too. So lots of love. And then Gabe, you'll be in charge of the icebreakers next week. So go Gabe. All right. Hey, awesome. Great job, guys. All right. So hope that was kind of fun. Would you rather? Let's move on to icebreaker 2 before we go to 3, right? So 2. It's gonna be like this. Okay. Here, I have the ball. Right? I have the ball. Boom. The ball, right? The topic is fast food. For example, fast food. I have the ball and I'll say McDonald's. Now I have the ball, I'm gonna pass it. So I'm gonna say Anthony. Boom. Now Anthony catch the ball. There, good. Okay. Now you say a fast food and then you pass it on. And let's make it like rapid fire.
Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A.
All right, pass it.
Here, Tati Jane.
Burger King. I pass it to Gab.
In and Out. I pass it to Nolan.
Try not to repeat. Oh, gosh.
I love that.
Okay, Jack in the Box. I pass to Alex Doughton.
Wait, is there video on? Wait, ideally someone's video.
Oh my god. Okay, Jerome.
Hey, drive safe, Jerome. Go, Jerome.
AC wants the ball down.
Got it. Fast food, Jollibee.
Good.
Fast
You just said
food,
Jollibee.
Or who do you pass it to?
game, super game.
AC wants the ball.
Yo, hey, yo, pass it, Jerome. Or yeah, I'll take it. Okay.
All right,
Taco Bell, and then boom, last one. Who didn't get it? Copy.
Burger King. I wasn't really.
Yo,
I'll pass it to AC because
last one for AC.
And Canes.
All right. Hey, that was nice. That was kind of entertaining,
Josh.
right?
Throw it to
That's Josh.
So
AC.
I heard this game too, like when looking it up on YouTube. This game can go on for like a while, so it's like seemed like really fun. We might get back to it depending on like how the podcast goes. But I hope you enjoyed that, and then feel free to take charge of that game and the topics too, Gabe, or anyone else you want to coordinate with. Right. So everyone got the ball, right?
Josh.
Josh.
Oh,
Guys, I finally.
Josh.
Oh,
White Castle.
Nobody thought about Portillo's. And that's surprising to me.
What is that?
Wait, do you know what's going on, Josh?
Is that a Chicago thing?
Yeah.
Tim Hortons.
Yes, ma'am. Did everyone get it, by the way? Nice picture, by the way. Keeper Alexander. All right. You good,
Thank
though,
you.
Josh? Yeah, go, Alex. You good, Josh?
Wait, what?
Oh. What's your favorite fast food?
Favorite fast food?
Yeah. Oh, Jane. Yeah, go, Josh. All right. Oh, Jane, can you stop sharing the screen for a sec for this third game? Okay, there we go. Okay, so is that you, Alex? It's not, right? No. Okay. Okay, third game because it looks familiar. Third game. This one's called "Where in the World Is." It's our third game before our actual topic. So it's as simple as this. I'm gonna say, "Where in the world is Cap Keeper?" So we're in my screen. Cap Keeper is right here. What about you guys though? You just point to her. Okay, you see how it's like kind of like it's kind of like funny almost, right? Okay, how about Keeper? How about Kuya Mark right behind Jerome? Or okay, how about Keeper Stephanie? Is there music playing? Okay, how about Ate Sheila? And then how about Joe and Alex? Joe and Alexander. Wait, what the? Wait. Okay, wait, who's? You have 4 hands, Kuya? Okay. Hey, regards though. I hope you guys enjoyed that too. So let us know if you guys enjoyed that those games. Those are like three of our favorite ones that we found on YouTube. But it was kind of share the screen, by the way, Jade. It was would you rather ball. It's like hot potato, if you think about it, right? It's like hot potato. And the third one is where in the world is. So that's kind of we have that icebreaker also to kind of get our minds thinking once again to really introduce ourselves to everyone without like taking too much time, right? And hope you like the pictures as well. So hope you enjoyed the icebreakers. And next slide. That's cool. Keeper Jane. All right. Oh, okay.
Wait, am
So,
I narrating now or do you?
huh?
Oh, never mind. Go.
Yeah. Feel free to jump in too. So, episode 3. Actually, this is our episode 3. Our first one was the struggles of being a youth. Our second one was staying committed to our goal. And the third one, we wanted to really talk about and focus on the topic of insecurities and acceptance. All right. So essentially, our podcast is all about talking about the struggles of being a youth. Right. It's not easy being, uh, a young person, a young man, a young adult, young woman. Right. But we have this podcast essentially to provide an outlet for keepers like us to express ourselves. And it's not only the keepers club here in USA, but it's global. It's all around the world. So we want to do our part, especially as summer is coming, especially as school is people are out of school. So we're really hoping to have an episode or a podcast like this every week. And once again, our topic is insecurities and acceptance. So yes, uh, would you like to introduce the burning question, Keeper Jane?
Okay, so the questions to start off the episode. What is one thing you like about yourself? And then also, what is one thing you'd like to change or improve about yourself? I'll start off. One thing I like about myself. Um, what is it? I'm I'm a very practical person. I'm good at prioritizing what needs to get done, and I'm grateful for that after years of learning what to care about and what not to care about. Um, another thing something I'd like to change about myself. A lot of the times, being a practical person means putting aside other people's emotions to solve a problem. So don't get me wrong, I am a very empathetic person. It's easy for me to put myself in someone else's shoes, but not when it gets in the way of a problem being solved. So that's just one thing I'd like to sort of change, sort of make it easier to balance solving problems, but also taking into account how someone may feel.
Hey, goalkeeper Jane, thank you for sharing. And I'm glad for you to really like set the standard, right, of like an example, right, that will give and answers, right. Um, I'll probably go after everyone, but I also wanted to kind of elaborate on this question, right. So, for example, um, everyone, right? Like everyone has insecurities. Everyone has problems accepting ourselves, right? Even if you look at the most perfect human being you can think of, like if you look at a celebrity or someone that you really look up to, you really strive to be like them because you think that they're like perfect, right? Um, Sometimes we got to remind ourselves that they're human just like us, and they have problems. They too have insecurities. They too have things that they wish they could change, but um, it could it could really be something that they like have in the back of their mind, or they really live every day worrying about it, or really um something that they really hold dear to their heart, and to that it really affects their daily life, their mindset, their perception of themselves, right? So especially in like this internet age, or especially with like all the young people like us, that's really a problem that we really hope to tackle and to just express ourselves with one another, right? And there's even like problems like we can't even change, right? There's some problems, insecurities that we might be born with, or something like on our bodies, right? Or things that um, we might be we might be insecure of being rejected, being insecure of being accepted, right? So we'll talk more about it also in the other slides. Um, and of course, too, for this question, it's up to you if you're willing to share. We can't force you to share, of course, but maybe if you're uncomfortable with sharing your personal insecurities, maybe you can kind of talk maybe around it, or some of the some of the biggest insecurities that you believe young people like us struggle with every day, right? So would anyone like to volunteer to maybe talk about, um, like this question? One thing you like about yourself, one thing you're willing to change. right? Because that's like the first step of improving. So, um, we love to hear from all the keepers. Oh yes, go Gabe.
Okay, I go. I'd say one thing I like about myself is probably that I can stand on like by myself. If I was alone, I think I could be independent. I think I get that from my mom because she raised me on her own. But I have like I can that's something I like about myself. That I'm independent. Also, one thing I like to change. I'd say sometimes my laziness because if I'm doing something, sometimes I'll get lazy and it'll affect like if I'm gonna do homework, sometimes I get lazy and I just I don't do it. But that's something I'd like to, overcome.
Go Gabe. Yeah, thanks for sharing. And go Gab. So, all right.
I can go next.
Yeah, why not? Go Anthony.
Okay, so the question was, what is one thing you like about yourself? So for me, I think what I like about myself is my bubbly personality. Like I it's just one of those situation where I most of the time I'm in like a good mood and like try to uplift others to like fun I don't want to say jokes because I don't want to feel like a jokester, but like just uplifting everyone through in our conversation and whatnot. And what is one thing that I'd like to change and improve about myself? It's I want to say time management because I'm not really good at time management per se, which then leads on to procrastination, which then leads on to me kind of chunking study or whatever I need to do. So that's kind of what I'm trying to work on right now about myself is time management so that I can do what I need to do in like perfectly well placed time displacement. If that makes sense. But yeah, so that's my burning question. That's the answer to my burning question.
Thank you, Anthony. Thank you. Go Anthony. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. So, um, and I feel you too, Anthony. In terms of like excellence, like time management, right? Something we can all struggle with. We all struggle with. Um, who'd like to go next?
I can go next.
Go AC.
Okay, so for me, what is one thing I like about myself is is my laugh, cause some I've had some people told me that my laugh is like very contagious, and so like I guess I like that because I also laugh, cause I also like my laugh. And something that I would like to change or like improve on myself is like this is gonna be like for me it's embarrassing because like I want to change my body, my weight, because I'm big but not that big, but I just want to change it because for me it's hard to go to school where there's like people who judge you based on like how you look or your on how big you are. And I've had like encounters like that at school, so like I've tried to change it. And yeah.
Wow. AC, thanks for sharing. Right? And um yeah, if like I don't I feel free anyone like feel free to jump in, to really elaborate, right? And cuz it's not anyone's podcast, it's Keepers Club podcast. And
Yeah. Well,
go
who
copy.
just spoke? Was that Anthony or AC?
Dios me te.
Oh, yeah, AC. Like basically, a lot of young people, they tend to be insecure about the way they look. But as you grow older, you realize that those type of things are shallow. It's really more of your character. So like when you tend to meet people who really like, they're so focused on their looks, you realize that like, that's just arrogance, because the people you surround yourself, they constantly have character, they constantly have a personality, which is probably more like, likely to make you have friends. Because when you just have a friend that basically only talks about their own appearance, this and that, you tend to start like thinking, I think this person like is like only focused on about themselves, whereas there are other people who have that kind of character where they're trying to like, uplift others. Because when you start to think about stuff like that, and AC, you tend to put yourself like in a place that you have no self-worth. So as young people, you have to slowly build up your own character, which is like, the people you talk to, the stuff you listen to, this like music, the things you do on a daily basis, even like, your talents. Because when in the long run, you'll see that is worth more than like, your appearance itself. Because really, people will change their looks over time as they get older, but your talents and your character and personality is what will remain throughout your life. So that's like something to maybe think about. It's also not just like, how you look.
Go Capkeeper. And if I may add, feel free to add also, not only like to AC, but like all of us, like I wish someone told me growing up, like, like for example, you were talking about your laugh, right? Someone might say they don't like your laugh, but to another person, it could be like the funniest thing in the world, right? So it's in the mindset, right? And then like another thing too, for example, for me, like, yeah, hey, go Joe. But for example, for me, I wish I could change the way I walk. I won't get too much into it, but I wish I could change the way I walk, right? So if you think about it, when we have like insecurities, you think about like, all right, I don't like this. Can I change it? Right? And in this case scenario, I can't, so I just have to accept it, right? So a lot of times it's just like adapting to it. Now, other times too, maybe you want to change like your body, or maybe you want to change your haircut, maybe you want to change the way you dress. Can you do something about it? If you can, then it's up to you. It's like a freedom of choice, right? So go anyone who's willing to really use their choice to change to better themselves, right? Um, can anyone kind of relate or would like to elaborate? If not,
Well, AC, like, how you said that, like people constantly like look at your weight. I can really relate to that, because like, even in the past before, I wasn't like, like the same as my own friends. And then I would constantly like, judge myself because of that. But in reality, you are the only one that's judging yourself. The other people are actually minding their own business, because they have their own like, problems, they have their own like business to do. So it's really about creating that self-worth. You're like, that's that sense of value that you have within yourself, because you are the one that can also uplift about like what you think and like how you could change that. So it's like what Calvin said, like, acceptance, if you can change it, but if you are able to change it, then definitely do it. But if you need help, there's always a lot of help along the way. People will always help you if you ask for it, because if you just keep it within your own self, no one's gonna know about it, right? So that's why there's like power when you open things up, because other people will see it and then they will know how to solve it with you. Because they're like, at times we find ourselves thinking that we're alone, but most of the time it's just you alone thinking that you're alone, whereas there's other people willing to help you along the way. So if you guys like have any like, insecurities or any problems, you can always like open it up to us, because this podcast is really meant for like, addressing like, the issues that you guys are having. And we're here to help you. This is a more of a like, building up your own character, your own personal values. So yeah, feel free, because we all love you guys. Like we're like one big happy family, like more than best friends, who knows, but yeah. So good thing you opened that up to us, AC. We're here to help you if you need it along the way.
Yeah, and AC2, once again, thanks for sharing, because like, you know, you because like of course we're not gonna, or it's not like we're really talking about your specific insecurity, but through you sharing your example, we're hoping that the other keepers like Copy and I, right, or like any of the keepers here, that we can really relate it to like, oh, AC feels this way, and like, wow, I feel the same way about my own personal insecurity, right? So it's really like putting ourselves in our shoes and really thinking about our on really bettering ourselves also, right? So once again, thanks for sharing, AC. And we love to hear other another example if you're willing to share, of course. So would anyone like to share maybe uh
Oh, I could.
go Joe.
I was just gonna say that one thing that I like about myself is that I'm very athletic. I could play a lot of sports, most sports. And one thing that I would like to change about myself is me procrastinating a lot. I can't really, or I always save stuff towards the end when it comes to like maybe homework, doing that like the last minute or studying for a test. So really working on not doing that is something that I need to do.
Hey, go Joe. Thanks for sharing. And then what's your favorite sport, by the way? You said you're athletic?
My favorite sport's football.
Word. Wow. Hey, go Joe on the field. But can anyone elaborate? Can they like add on to what Joe was saying?
Yes, as someone who knows Joe,
Go Alex.
I would just like to add, yeah, he's pretty good at a good number of sports. And yes, he does procrastinate. If I were to respond to that, right, I would say, Joe, you could always go to me. Sometimes I procrastinate too, but I think a lot of things are a lot easier if you're working with another person. Then you kind of have to rely on each other. So, Joe, if you ever want to not procrastinate, you know who to call. That's me.
Thank you, brother.
That was unexpectedly wholesome. So go Alex, go Joe, and we love too. It's like fulfilling to see like that like interaction in the podcast, even though we don't know what you guys look like. We never met you. All we know is that meme as your profile picture, uh, Alex, right? So yeah, and of course too, maybe feel free to reach out to one of us. Um, it is it is like a crazy request, but at the same time too, sometimes you really feel comfortable talking to someone you haven't even met before. You know that they can't judge you. You know that they don't know you, but all you can get really is like advice from them, and vice versa, right? So um, feel free to join more podcast episodes where we talk about more topics. Um, but anyone else, by the way, while we're on this burning questions, would you like to share, Jerome?
Yeah, for sure. I was gonna say I couldn't go next, but yeah, you called me this. Sorry about the camera, by the way. We're on the road right now,
You're
so
good. You're good. Be safe.
okay. The first question, what is the thing that you like about yourself? Just like Jane said, I like being organized. I like things, be organized. I like to get things. I prioritize things to get done as soon as possible, so before its due date. And I think that's what I like about myself. And like for example, today if there's something that I didn't do today, it would keep bothering me all day long, all day night, and it would not let me sleep until it's done. So that's the type of person I am. And the second question, what is the one thing that you like to change or improve about yourself? Probably improve. Probably my personality of being introverted person. Uh, I kind of have to work on improving my self esteem or confidence. Like for example, when I get into like crowded places, you would not find me, talking. You would find me like in a corner by myself because I get pretty shy. So I think that's something that I need to to work on and change. And I think this podcast would really help me to improve that. So I'm really glad to be here. So yeah, thanks for having me.
Of course.
Otto.
Thanks for joining. And love from the Keepers Club podcast. And thanks for joining, even though you're driving, right? And for all of us. Um, and yeah, be safe, Jerome. That's awesome. We'd also like to.
Otto.
Um, would you like to share, Steph? I'm glad you're safe, by the way. But we'd love
Yeah.
to hear from you.
So I guess for one thing, it is that I like about myself is just how much I've been able to handle stress as of late. Um, just because there are a lot of times where I have been like, as of recently, like kind of getting frustrated, and just not just with work, but like also like personal like relationships I be having, and just trying to take that initiative of like not everything is gonna be all like colors and rainbows, stuff like the stereotypical stuff of that. There are going to be like really bumpy roads ahead, especially since we're still adjusting to like the aftermath of like COVID, and then like panicking with the whole monkeypox, stuff like that. And just being able to find things that actually help you out with that sort of thing is something that it is a practice. It is not something that's going to come very easily. It sounds easier said than done. It really truly is, because not one like stress out like de-stressor, I guess I should say, is going to fix all your stressful problems. It's like it's not. It's going to be a practice. And as long as you're like pace yourself, because there's no need to like rush yourself into being completely calm and like being completely the most carefree person in the world. Like no, that's just not how life works and whatnot. And the sooner you recognize that, and also just pace yourself, go at your own pace, don't let anybody say like, hey, you need to chill out. That's not that's not for people to say. That's like something for you to kind of like, okay, I'm gonna take a pause, take a deep breath. I'm gonna focus on myself for a bit, and just remember like there are going to be times where it's going to be like this, and that's okay. To remember that it really is okay. And just like I said, just go at your own pace. Nothing wrong with that. And that's what I've been kind of been doing lately. And even though it may seem like the world is like crumbling around you at times, as long as you make sure to take care of yourself, which like I also have been doing for myself, because I've been like getting stressed out. But then I always have people to remind me like, hey, take a step back, do something for you. And you should be doing stuff for you, by the way. That is also very essential. Make sure you just take good care of yourself, and you can always you just need to take a step back sometimes and just do something for yourself, chill out for yourself, and don't be like rushing for anybody else's schedule. You know what I mean?
Hey, go Steph. That was awesome. Thanks for sharing. Wow, and you're like even like motivating other keepers like me. Like Yeah, that was beautiful. So thank you, Steph. Um, and go Steph, taking a deep breath. Go Steph, relationships, and being thankful in the good and in the bad times, right? So you can't have like the sunshine without the thunderstorms, right? You can't have the good times without the bad times. And sometimes I have to remind myself also, um, like for all of us, right? You can't have like the positive without the negative, right? So that's really cool how you're really putting emphasis on really taking a deep breath, doing stuff for yourself. So go Steph.
Yeah. Also, I just want to apologize for being a little late, for leaving and coming back in. I was trying to fix something here because I can't really have my camera on per se, but I was finding an alternative. I finally figured it out, so that's what I was kind of doing back and forth. So sorry if that
Steph,
if I
you
came a
have
little late with that.
absolutely nothing to apologize for. We're incredibly happy to have you. And then, especially too, like, even if you're busy, it's so nice hearing your voice. It's like flashbacks to Keepers Club, right? At Wright College. Um, and go jinx Stephanie from Arcane as well.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so would anyone else like to add on unless we move on to the next slide? But like we're in case anyone wants to elaborate. All right, how about next slide? We could also talk more about it. Thank you, Keeper Jane. Okay.
So, just one truth I want everyone to go home with today. Everyone has their insecurities and doubts, and it's especially concerning when it comes to when you're young. You know, you want to stay in your comfortable little shell. What you want to do, what you know will make you feel accepted, or think like, oh, this will make them like me. This will make me cool. This will make me this and that. In reality, when you're young, that is when you have every opportunity to mess up, to learn new skills. So, whether it be finding out who you are, learning a new talent, trying something new, meeting new people, don't let other people's opinion of what you're doing, of course, like unless it's like something like mean or like legitimately morally wrong, but like don't let anyone's opinion of what you're doing to try to either improve yourself, improve your life or the lives of others. Don't let anyone else's opinion or what you think their opinion might be deter you from doing what you feel is right for you at that moment. So, Galvin, any elaborations?
Yeah, go Ati Jane. I'm willing to elaborate as well. So, something I wanted to mention, I did a project. Well, I was part of a project, right, in school in my community college. For example, I'm willing to be vulnerable in this podcast because, like, for example, if I'm not vulnerable, no one else can be, essentially, right? Or like it's like really setting the example. So thank you, AC, once again, like to everyone sharing their insecurities, and then it's really just like sharing, right? That's the goal of this podcast. So make it short and sweet. I was on a project. It's my friend. We both have battle scars. You can say battle scars, right? From like surgery. There, that's some context. We have surgery, battle scars, right? And her project, she asked me if she could take pictures of my battle scars. I'm like, yeah, sure, right? So to make it short and sweet, her goal of that project, it was beautiful too. She's saying that your insecurities make you perfect, right? So it's not about like being the perfect human, because like what even is the definition of perfect? What is a perfect human being? We all have flaws, we all have insecurities, and like I was talking about, some people wish we could change our height, our age, right? Or some people wish different stuff about our bodies, like our maybe our weight, or the like how something looks. People even do like surgery, plastic surgery, right? Sometimes people even have the insecurity of like being judged, or they feel like unworthy to be a part of anything, right? It could be in performance. It could be feeling unworthy in their family. It could even be feeling unworthy to join this podcast, for example, right? Um, but just know too that your imperfections make you perfect. Like you wouldn't be you without your insecurities, right? And if you were to take that insecurity out, whatever flaw it is, maybe to your loved ones, to your friends, your families, your siblings, maybe if you were to take that out, you were to take away that insecurity from you, maybe it would like it wouldn't be you, because that's you, and you're beautiful the way you are, right? It sounds cliche, but like we all have insecurities, right? And it's up to us to do something about it. If we can't do something about it, then it's all about accepting ourselves, loving ourselves, right? And being like, you know what, I can't change it, I'm just gonna live with it. And it's a blessing, you can say, to even be alive, right? I may have this, I might be so insecure about it, I might live every day with it, like almost hating myself, but like no one's perfect. And if anything, this insecurity makes me perfect, makes you perfect, right? So thank you too, Steph, for like really sharing that motivational speech last slide. Would anyone else like to elaborate, kind of like give their take on insecurities, on like on people's insecurities in general, and maybe their words from the heart?
One thing I want to mention before anything, what you said, Greg Calvin, about your insecurities are what make you you, or what make you perfect. It's really, when you think about it, your insecurities, it's whatever sticks out, whether it be to you or other people. So whatever sticks out, those are your defining characteristics, whether you like them or not. Like, I don't know if you know, like, that trend you see somewhere on, maybe on Instagram, maybe on TikTok, of like Photoshop artists like photoshopping famous faces into the quote unquote perfect face ratio. When you look at those faces, a lot of people have pointed out they look bland, they look forgettable. Appealing, yes, but also very basic. So just know, whether it be things like your physical appearance, maybe you have a cowlick, maybe you have freckles, maybe you have scars, maybe you have this, that, whatever, that you like look in the mirror and say, oh, I don't like this, I wish I could take it out, I don't like this, I don't like that. It is what makes you you, and it's what gives you that sort of individuality. It's what makes you, yeah, if people think about you, more likely than not, they're going to think about that thing. But it's going to be in a good way, because if they already view you in a good light, they'll think, oh, yeah, I know this person, they have that, it's really cute, or I really like the way it looks on their face, or stuff like that. So just know, everyone, whatever your insecurity is, it's what makes you, it's what sticks out from you, but it's also what makes you different from everyone else.
And if I may add too, like sometimes insecurities come from comparing ourselves, right? We look on social media, we compare ourselves to someone who's dedicated their craft, or they're more experienced than we are, right? Like what, like let's say like any talents, right? Like sometimes we find ourselves comparing where we are now to someone's success. But when we compare that, or when we look at their success, we don't see the sacrifices they made, the trials, the tribulations, or the fire they've went through, right? So sometimes insecurities also comes from our our mindset, like really comparing ourselves. And sometimes we forget to acknowledge that, right? But sometimes it could also be a good comparing. Like someone, if we were to look at someone who has been through it before, or has been there before, or even like they paved a highway for others to go through, right? So, right, it's all in the mindset. If you really compare yourself and you're like, wow, like you see someone's successes, are you going to use that to motivate yourself to keep going, to better yourself, to get stronger, to get better, to keep training, to keep practicing? Or are you going to say like, oh wow, like look at where this person is, I'm just going to give up, right? So it's sometimes it's all about the mindset, and it's hard too. Like, it's hard too. Like, even for myself, saying, like, doing is different than saying, right? But also with that example, you see someone doing it, it's also proof that if you see someone doing it, it's proof that you too can do it, right? You too can overcome. You too can really be an instrument in other people's growth, right? And I'd like to, with that example, can you get a feel for what I'm saying, or can you kind of elaborate? Would anyone like to elaborate? For anyone who does, and like Anthony or AC, or even someone who's able to talk but can't show their video, like Kuya Mark, Kuya Ping, Josh, Kuya Jensen, Vince, Alex, Frank, Ate Sheila, Kuya Jensen, or even you, Joe or Alex. Okay, but it's all good. Also, too, it's like, be comfortable with silence, right? Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
well,
Go, Joe.
I think you just really, hit it out the ballpark. I think, what you said is really true on how, people or how we see people, through social media and all that, and how we try to change ourselves from the people that we see. Really think that you really nailed the nailed it, and I just want to say thank you for that.
Hey, much love. If anything, thank Keepers Club, actually. Because I've learned all of that from Keepers. So thank you, though. Of course, like, appreciate it, but just know too that, like, it's like the least I could do, and all of us on this podcast, to really give back, right? Because we felt that love from Keepers Club, so it's like the least we can do to really to share, and um, likewise as well for you for joining, sharing. But who would like to elaborate? And then, in case, like, Keeper Alex, I'm pretty much, it's like, um how can why do you why do you think people are insecure when they why do you think people become insecure when they compare themselves? They compare him or herself to someone's successes, or even, like, just scrolling social media, like Facebook, or scrolling on Instagram, TikTok, right? Or looking at someone that you looking at someone that has something that you don't. So essentially, like, what can the viewers listening, tuning into this podcast episode, how do you think they can overcome their insecurities, especially through, like, comparing themselves?
All right.
Go, Alex.
I do think that the root of all insecurities really just does come comparing yourself to either someone else or the idea that they represent. Um, like how you said before, there is like a beauty standard. It's really shown in society, right? Any magazine or post you'll see some clear definition of what beauty is, which most people think is some sort of status quo of how you should look, even though the expectations are very hard to, sometimes almost impossible to even reach, right? Um, there's people are insecure because there's a certain place they want to get to that at least at that moment they can't or can't even imagine themselves. Can't. Like for me, I'm trying to get this certain ideal body type, right, that I want. So I go to the gym. Um, if I were insecure about my body right now, it would either motivate me to work twice as hard, which is good, or it could do the opposite effect and actually just take away all that motivation itself because kind of overwhelmed. You're too insecure to even go to the gym. Um, I think a good way to help with insecurities, uh, if you know what you're insecure about, right? It's usually a lot of small things. It's different for every insecurity. But let's say you're insecure about the way you look, right? Um, for one, you got to understand that the definition of beauty, right, or like kind of how beauty is seen, is very out of proportion online, right? When you understand that, it really isn't all that bad. But obviously, you don't. When people are insecure about their beauty, you don't see that as like there's a certain beauty standard they don't reach. That's like really good. It's more that you see yourself very far below the beauty standard, right? Um, and like at one point, I was kind of insecure about the way I look. You know, I don't exactly have the most chiseled jawline. God, dude, my unibrow grows way too often. Right, my head looks like a bobblehead when I cut my hair. It's very frustrating. Every time I get a haircut, I do not like the way I look. Then I started, instead of blaming the barber, I started blaming myself. Maybe it's just the way my head is shapen, right? All these like small terrible things I used to say about myself, right? And that had nothing to do with society's standard of beauty. That came from my own standard of my own beauty that I wanted to get to, right? Obviously, uh, it isn't impossible to reach where I want, or at least get close to it. So I'm doing these. I'm eating more healthy, working out, but I think what most people need to understand that um, it isn't as bad. Everyone is their own worst critic. Everyone's just what you see yourself is not how others see you, right? Us, even a cool way to look at it is that your camera on your phone um, versus like a mirror, right? You'll look a lot better at a mirror than you do on the phone just because of the way the camera is. Just uh, really does affect a lot of people, especially since I guess nowadays people use their camera a lot more than the mirror. But
Yeah.
yeah, I guess to simply put it, if you don't want to be insecure, you got to work on all the little stuff, you know, and you got to understand that it isn't as bad as it seems. That is my take on the matter.
Yeah, no, I will mention, anyone if you're confused, the mirror is a lot more accurate than your phone camera because the mirror captures the 3D aspect. So you usually look a lot better in the mirror. That's for good reason. It's because the mirror accurately reflects what you look like.
Thank you, Jane.
Thank you
Keeper
for that.
Jane. And also like who's speaking? Alex, right? It was yeah. Like I like who you put that to me also Alex, you like hit the nail on the head also. Right? I was like spot on. So
Thank you.
um yeah, go Alex from the gym too. Like muscles everywhere,
Oh, hey
getting
guys.
gains, right?
Oh yeah.
So um yeah,
Me and
and
you, Alex. Me and you.
That's right. I actually go to the gym with Joe over here. We go to we're gonna go after the podcast. So
Me and you. Me and you.
yeah, we're working on chess.
word.
Yeah. Okay.
Go Alex and Joe from the gym. And yeah, go I hey, be safe. Hope the workout goes well. Right? So lots of love for even joining the podcast. And um yeah, we're actually hoping to have this podcast out every week. Right? So we welcome you, of course, to feel free if you're not in the gym, you're not like making muscles in your arms, legs, abs, right? So we'll be yeah, so thanks for sharing. And then did you want to elaborate? Someone was about to speak. Was it Texas? No? Yeah, but I like to emphasize that too. You know, like we are our biggest critic. If we were to put ourselves in someone else's shoes, it's like it's not even a problem. Or it's like it's there, but it's like it's not as deep as what we think of ourselves, right? So, Feel free to jump in. Anyone elaborate, but we can move on to the next slide.
All right, so we've gone over, you know, thing, the dangers of comparing ourselves, insecurities. Now, this is just some of the things that we've noticed that are very common when it comes to people wanting to change themselves for the sake of their insecurities, whether it be changing how you dress. I've even seen some people practicing their smile in the mirror to change it, to make it more presentable, changing, your hair, which, it could either be a personality thing but most commonly I've seen it's an insecurity thing. And then, working yourself to the point of burnout, changing the way you laugh, changing the way you even like stare, like just your resting face. And, and when it comes to your appearance, things like your weight, you think you're too skinny, you think you're too fat, stuff like that. Prioritize your health. That's the one thing I'm going to say because I don't know if it's translating on the camera right now, but I'm a pretty big person. I'm I am definitely not petite. I am chunky. So I will say, when I was younger, this is going to be pretty graphic, but I'm just going to share a bit of myself. Um, I would like. I would have never actually do it, but I remember thinking, like, actually contemplating what's pain? Like, what would happen if I just, cut off pieces of myself just to make myself look thinner? And it's just, looking back, it's absolutely awful I would ever entertain that idea. And I was a kid too. This was like middle school age. So, just remember your health always comes first. Now, of course, if I lose weight in a healthy way, that's great. But I will not compromise my strength and my health for the sake of looking thinner. And the same thing goes for if you feel like you look too thin. Don't I know a lot of thin people who are insecure about it. Sometimes they'll gorge themselves, sometimes they'll eat food that's like really fatty, really repulsive to them at that point, to the point where they're uncomfortably full, feeling like they're about to throw up, and they just don't feel good. And no, this is just one thing I want to drill into your heads because your body is like one of the biggest insecurities out there. One thing I want to drill into your heads: prioritize your health first, because if you take care of your body, what you do, your body will reflect it. Yes? So just, take care of your health the best you can. So yeah, that's all I have to say about the topic.
Go Jane. And thank you for sharing, Jane. Keeper Jane. And awesome PowerPoint, by the way, we must say. Um, yeah, so we know you all can read as well. Kindly feel free to check this out. And then even like I'm learning from this too, right? So I'm glad that we're able to share and also like learn, reflect on ourselves. So yeah, we love to move on to word. Okay. May I read this, Keeper Jane?
Go on.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. So, for our next slide, we listed here the tips on acceptance and dealing with insecurities. So, of course, even with sharing, we want to also share some like guidance, advice that we found, like on the internet and also from personal experience. But for one, don't compare yourself. Everyone is on their own separate journey. Two, accept imperfection. You can always find ways to improve. Three, learn how to move on. Most mistakes are temporary. Wow. Four, the body you see in the mirror is the body you're stuck with. Learn how to treat it with kindness. Just like you're saying, health is wealth. And the last one we have here is find the people who will care for you and care for them all the same. Wow. So those are some tips and acceptance with dealing with insecurities from the Keepers Club podcast. And kindly jot down notes or like feel free to um, drill it in your head, like Jane was saying. So, but yeah, thank you for sharing. And this is awesome, by the way. Next slide, please. Goalkeeper Jane.
Oh yeah, no, these are just some talking points. So, um, if you would just, if anyone would like to speak, if anything catches your eye, because I know we've already talked a lot, so I'm fairly certain most of these points we've already touched on. So, what are your own experiences with insecurity? We've touched on that. How have you learned to care for yourself? So that's something interesting that I want to see answered, because, especially if you've like sort of matured past most of your insecurities, how have you learned to sort of take care of yourself?
Yeah, and someone hit the nail on the head, as they said. Like I think it was Joe or Alex, but that's really true too. Like really, it's like really acknowledging your insecurities, right? Or it's like you can't solve a problem without acknowledging it first. Like that's the first step. So um, very well said, and very nice questions too. Right. So yeah, feel free to jump in, anyone. But in case we could move on, unless anyone's like has like any burning comments.
I'll give it 5. Okay,
I have a
so
question.
go on.
So, I don't know about if this, how do you say this? If this affects everybody or applies to anybody, but what is a driving force that, pertaining your insecurities? What driving force helps you cope with it? Because I can name a few actually, but I'm just curious as to other people if you want to
lead
share.
lead by example. Go, Anthony.
Okay, so for me, one of the driving force that I have facing my insecurities, because insecurity doesn't, for me, it's not really only physical, but it can also be characteristical. I don't know if that's the right term, but your characteristic as a person. You know, like I mentioned earlier, I'm a very bubbly person, but there are some times when I can go overload to the fact that I don't realize that I'm doing too much, and then the people around me are like, dial it down a little, but not like in that kind of a nice manner, but like in a more serious, like, hey, it's time to be serious. So, I mean, at those times, it kind of catches me off guard, um, because I don't notice myself going overboard. So my insecurity is like, oh my gosh, I'm talking too much again. Everyone thinks I'm this annoying kid or whatever. But I've learned to cope with it because there as I'm learning to know myself more, um you can kind of tell that you can kind of read the situation. That's what I'm learning to do. That's what I've been doing, is reading the situation. Like when it's time to be serious, I'm kind of gonna dial it down because I can't stop myself for being myself. I can't like be sad because nobody likes me being like this cheerful little person. So it's kind of like getting to know myself more through experience is what I'm basically saying. Because I have different insecurities, but my main one is actually my overpowering characteristic of being bubbly. But that's just for me. I don't know about anyone else if it applies to you, of being, over the top, I guess is the proper term. But yeah, so that's pretty much what I have to say about this slide.
Copy, Anthony. Um, really quick, regards to Stephanie. Can we, if you have to go, can we say bye, Stephanie?
Happy belated birthday, Stephanie, before you
Yeah,
go.
Steph.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure seeing you guys. It was very nice meeting some of you I've never met before, but thank you again for the birthday wishes and welcoming back in here for today. It's been a wonderful experience.
Thank you for
Yeah.
joining.
Hope to see you soon, Steph. And
All right.
once again, thanks for joining.
Mhm.
So
Stay
it's been
safe.
nice
Hope to
hearing
see
from
you
you.
next time.
We're about to end really quick too, so we're about to end soon actually. But
Mhm.
yeah, go Steph. Thanks for letting us know.
Yeah, of
And
course.
lots of love, Steph. So go
I'll
Keeper
see you
Steph.
all.
Keeper Chicago, go to
Bye.
college.
Thank you.
Um,
Bye.
and then also in terms, go Anthony. I think just to make it short and sweet. I think it's just uh, short and sweet. I think it's just about like once again like really reflecting. If you can, if you want to change something about it, and it's like it's up to you. It's like freedom of choice, right?
Yeah,
Versus something if you
realize
can't
it.
change it, right? To really adapt. So if anything, go Anthony. And then if you even feel that insecurity about like people being like, oh, like he's so bubbly, just know too that Keepers Club, all your quiz and aunties, brother, and your fellow keepers here in the podcast, we'll love you, right? We'll be here to accept all of your bubbly personality, right? And that goes for everyone here, right? So just like Keepers Club, like if you don't feel like you belong to anywhere or you want to belong somewhere, especially in the summer break, we can be that environment for you. We can be your brothers and sisters. Uh we can be your fellow keepers that help encourage you, uplift you, and guide you to a life full of positivity, sharing love, because that's all we need, right? Rather than a life full of, a negative life, full of just being like addiction or bad habits, right? So, um, I'd like to move on to the next slide though.
Yeah,
So
because
I
it's
hope
already
it's all
getting
right.
late.
Yeah, and
Yeah, yeah. No, I
but
don't
go
blame you.
Anthony, go Anthony.
Okay, so I think we've already gone over both of these questions.
Okay, go Keeper
Yeah,
Jane.
so we can just move.
Oh,
So
okay.
let's bring it to the
Oh,
shout
yeah.
outs. Wait, Galvin,
Okay,
you can
I'll
take it
jump.
from here.
Yeah, feel free to jump in. But thank you everyone who has joined this podcast episode, and we want to acknowledge everyone. Keeper Jane, Keeper Alfie, Keeper Jensen, Keeper Joe, Keeper Josh, Copy, Alexander, Anthony, Gabe, Jerome, Vince, no, Kuya Nolan. Yeah, so thank you so much for joining, and we hope you enjoyed. Um, we'll be here actually every week. So kindly feel free to message us for the link
It's
or
Kuya
even things that
Nolan's
you wish.
birthday.
When? Sabay tayo.
It is your
Yeah.
birthday too, right?
Tomorrow. Happy birthday, Kuya Nolan. Happy
Happy
birthday
early
Happy
birthday,
to
Kuya
birthday.
you.
Nolan. You
Happy
didn't mention us, Kuya.
birthday to
You
you.
too, Copy.
Thank you,
Happy
Father.
birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
It's gonna
And
be your
shout
Thank
out
birthday,
you,
right?
also
Nolan.
Cappy. Cappy's birthday.
My birthday happened last year's. Kuya Nolan's birthday.
Last year.
And
Yeah.
Vince's birthday.
And
In July,
Vince.
June 26. And then 25.
Hey, so many birthdays. So, have an awesome celebration. We wish we can join you, but eat a lot of cake for us. Many more, many
Yes.
more blessings you can say to you guys, to you all. And go Copy, go Vince, and go Kuya Nolan.
Yay.
Wow. So, while we finish these shoutouts though, we'd love to hear from you. But really quick, once again, to happy early birthday to Vince, Kopik, and Kuya Nolan. Stephanie also, but she left. But thank you to all the keepers once again who joined. Also the keepers who worked on this very special Keepers Club podcast presentation. We also love to thank Keepers Club International and the founding president, who is none other than Pastor Apollo Siki Beloy, because without him, we wouldn't have this club. We would not have this podcast, and we would not have felt the love that Keepers Club has Keepers Club has orchestrated in our lives, right? So once again, we're truly just instruments in sharing that Keepers Club love, and this is the very absolute least we can do, So, um, to all the viewers, all the guests as well, all the guests who have joined, and the viewers tuning into this third episode. We hope you enjoyed, and we love to see you next episode, which is every Tuesday, 6 p.m. Central Time. And would anyone like to add, especially the birthday celebrants?
I would like to add one thing.
Yeah, go Josh.
Um, how do I deal with mosquito bites?
Alcohol, rubbing out.
All right.
Coconut
I keep
oil.
I keep getting more
Apple
every
cider,
night.
yeah, apple cider vinegar.
Uh, Go Josh rubbing alcohol on your mosquito bites. And would you like to add anything regarding the podcast, maybe, Josh? Woo, go Josh.
It was great.
Uh, yeah, let
I
us
guess
know, Josh. And then go birthday copy, birthday Vince, birthday Kuya Nolan.
May I say something, Keeper Calvin?
Yeah, why not? Keeper Joe.
Thank you, thank you. I just want to say for our first experience, it was amazing. I love everyone and what everyone had to say. I really do appreciate also everyone. And this really got me in my soul, just talking about my feelings and just listening to other people and how like we're all somewhat the same. I just really do appreciate it. And I want to say thank you for this experience.
thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it and for giving your insights.
Yeah, wow. Go Joe. We're just as grateful. Honestly, we're just as grateful for you joining, and then for you to say that it's really fulfilling, and I'm sure it makes the founding president and the Keepers Club internationals all over the world very uh, grateful as well. So we love to see you again, of course.
I will try and make it. I will try.
Mm.
Yes. I would
Yeah,
love to
all
go
good.
back.
Of course. Hey, go Joe always. Go Alexander always. Anyone else? Would you like to final comments? Is Vince here? Feel free to jump in. Keeper Vince. Keeper Kuya Nolan. Unless we move on. Next slide, please. Okay, wow. Look at this. Look at this slide. Okay. Um we hope you like the flyer also, right? So kind of check out the slide, join our podcast. We talk about struggles being of youth. Ideally 6 p.m. every Tuesday. We used to do it every other week, but we want to try every week. And yes, also no, we also have youth gatherings and in-person music jam sessions. So you never know, you might be an awesome musician, and you might even have fellow keepers in your area who play instruments, who sing. So you never know. We're also, not only are we really trying to show love, but also through our music. And just contact your keepers in your area, and we love to see you. We love to see you perform also, and whatever talent or gift you can say that you have. And once again, all we need is love. I am my brother's keeper, and likewise, also Gabe. This is a very nice episode. So, final comments, absolute final comments before we end this episode.
Just stay safe, everyone, and remember any of your insecurities. I promise you, you're the only one that hates it. Everyone else either doesn't notice it or thinks it's a part of what makes you beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. I really do appreciate this. I just wanted to say one more time. I do appreciate this. And every one of you.
Hey, while I'm driving home, I'll probably like cry about it. Like, it's like, wow, what an awesome episode, So, anyone else? I could like stop recording. But yeah, absolute like final comments. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and yeah, you'll check it out too. Check it out on our YouTube channel. Pretty much Keepers Club podcast. So that's where you'll see yourself. That's where you see. That's where you hear your voices. You'll hear your voices, and thank you too, Gabe, because ideally
Oh,
we're
great,
trying to
Calvin,
get better and better. Yeah,
for
go Jane.
the link. Is it possible you can send the link to the YouTube channel in the chat?
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah, just so
yeah,
we
sure.
know.
Any final
Can you
comments? I'll send the
also
link. But in case you don't catch
can
it,
you
literally
also
just type in Keepers Club podcast.
put in the chat the Instagram too? I would love to follow up with that.
Oh word.
Well, if you
Let me
want, we're
s-
also most active on Facebook. So if you have that, that's where we're most
Oh
active.
Yeah,
yeah.
I'll just all of it, please.
Yeah, because actually, like the other social medias, it's in the works. To be honest, right? We're still like trying to post like like start posting. But just like Keeper Jane said, we're really active on Facebook, and we will post the official episodes on YouTube. So I posted it on the group chat and on the Zoom chat. And once again, feel free to check out or feel free to just type the search Keepers Club podcast. So may we take a picture in honor of this very successful, wholesome, genuine, and um, keepers filled episode. We'd love to see your faces, maybe take a picture if that's all right with everyone. And uh, kindly, yeah, there you go. Okay, so hopefully we'll have more and more guests, more keepers joining. But we love to see your beautiful faces and smiles once again. And kindly say hi on three. Is that you, Alex? Ready? 1, 2, 3.
That's not Alex.
You kind of look like that one meme, Alex. Okay, yeah. Hi, Kuyas.
Hi,
Keeper.
Calvin. Hi, everyone.
Smile, smile.
I just got here. Too busy.
All right, can we do also like this? Keepers is like the official logo. Okay, can someone take a? Okay, someone take a screenshot for safekeeping. I'll record it though. But yeah, keepers. All right, lots of love. I'm gonna stop recording and then we'll yeah, nice seeing you all.
Bye, guys. Hi, everyone.
Hi everyone, this was a really good nice.
See you, everyone.
Bye, Alex.
Go Alex. Go Joe.